Has one. Grass, concrete, or dirt. The stage is the same. The rules, unwavering. And the goals, beautiful.
It goes in! It's unbelievable!
Now, in its 107th year, America's oldest soccer tournament is back.
The hometown hero!
One cup, open to all. The 2022 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
Round 3 action of the 2022 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup as the New York Red Bulls made the trip up I-95 to Trinity Health Stadium, where they will take on Hartford Athletic for the first ever meeting between these two clubs. Alongside Olympic bronze medalist Kaylin Kyle, I'm Joe Malva. We're glad to have you along tonight on ESPN+. Here's a bit of a refresher for you on the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. 107 times now it has been played, the oldest annual team sports tournament in the U.S. One and done, single elimination, and that makes for plenty of drama, which we've already seen here in round 3. Could have some more in store tonight. And now this is, of course, the round where the MLS sides have joined. 17 of them here in this round. A few more coming in the next round. The draw for that is tomorrow, so we just keep rolling through with the Open Cup action here. And now let's get to know these players a bit more. Danny Barrera, the man to watch for Hartford, led all of USL Championship last season with 12 assists.
Yeah, and he's been a little bit quiet, to say the least, and it has nothing to do with the attacking presence of this Hartford side, because you look at the XG, you look at the final third actions, and it's been there. They just haven't been able to put the ball into the back of the net, so big game for Danny Barrera tonight.
On the other side, Lewis Morgan, the big acquisition for the Red Bulls in the offseason over from Inter Miami, and he makes his debut in the Open Cup coming off a really strong batch of league play.
Yeah, you look at Lewis Morgan and you look at his first season with Inter Miami, and then the change of position kind of fell off that second season, but it was due to not being in that attacking third. Goes over to New York Red Bull and has a new lease of life. Gets forward, crosses in the box. He has a left foot, a right foot, can drive inside, create overloads. He's a handful to deal with.
And here are the other 20 players joining those two out there for the starting 11s for both Hartford and New York.
Yeah, you look at Hartford, it's going to be a big task because New York Red Bulls is not messing around. This is the first MLS side that I've seen put out their strongest 11, other than Mara in goal. Obviously, he hasn't had a start since November of 2020. But other than that, New York Red Bulls are going for it. They want to win this game on the road. They have yet to lose a game on the road this season in Major League Soccer. And for Hartford, they have yet to win a game this season. The inconsistency under Harry Watling this season, he's got to pull it together, especially here tonight, playing at home against a very strong New York Red Bull side.
No easy task here for Hartford, but if you come away with a victory tonight, that can all of a sudden be a jolt to the system for your league play as well. Ernie Constantine, the referee, in charge of this one. Red Bulls in their road whites, Hartford in their home blues. And the fans are rowdy and ready to rock. Hartford gets it going from right to left. Here we go in round 3 of the 2022 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. No strangers to this tournament, the Red Bulls. Overall, this is their 24th appearance now in this tournament. For Hartford, just their second. They only previously appeared in 2019. It was their inaugural season as a club. Of course, tournament canceled in 2020 and 2021, so they make their return here in 2022, and they open things up with a 3-1 victory over Oyster Bay United in the second round.
And we were interested to see what New York Red Bulls were going to come out with this 11, where they're going to go to 3 at the back with those wing backs and create the overloads, or go and solidify with this 4 through the back, press high up the pitch, and you're seeing it sitting in this 4-3-3, getting players forward, pressing high, and making it very uncomfortable early on.
Got the brothers Nealis on the right side of that back line, Sean and Dylan. Taken down in the middle by Luquinhas, the designated player just signed in February for the Red Bulls. Signed through 2024 with an option year in 2025. Tolkien sends it forward, flicked out toward the back post. The save made by Jimmy Slayton. Early test for the keeper, and he passes it.
And he passes it with flying colors. Not easy to do as well. It's in the sun, so he's got to deal with the vision of the flight of the ball. It's in that awkward stage where it comes in, it gets redirected with the head here inside this 18-yard box. He does extremely well just to read the flight of this ball and tip this one out of danger.
And now he will have to deal with a corner kick. Tolkien over to take it. over to provide some support. Frankie Amaya, the #1 overall pick of the 2019 MLS draft after 1 year at UCLA. Back for Tolkien from a better angle, cuts the ball in, the header misses the frame. But early chances going forward for the Red Bulls. That one comes through Morgan. Rather, Nealis pressing forward on that right side.
Hartford just need to deal with this waves of pressure. First 15, 20 minutes, especially for a USL side, going against a very strong New York Red Bull side. They're not messing around. They want to go in. They want to win this game in the first 45 minutes because they have a huge game on the weekend. They match up against Orlando that's just sitting ahead of them in the table. So, again, they want to close out this game in the first 45, sub some of their starters off, bring in some of the bench just to rest them on the weekend.
And that's always the interesting strategy of this round of this tournament. For better or for worse, there's going to be MLS teams who don't put as much stock into it. There's going to be MLS teams who take it more seriously. The Red Bulls going all out tonight with this lineup.
And I love it because this tournament, I missed it for the 2 years that we didn't have it. I'm delighted that it's back selfishly. I know it's very hard on these players having to play 3 games in 1 week, but for the fans, it's amazing. It gives these USL sides to upset teams. We saw it last night with Columbus getting knocked out early on. So you're looking at this Red Bull side saying, hey, we've seen a very good side in Columbus getting knocked out already. Let's go and win this thing.
So far, 7 of the 9 MLS teams that have played have advanced to the round of 32. And MLS teams at the moment are 5-2 against teams from USL, with the 2 losses being the one you alluded to, with Detroit over Columbus. And then USL League One Omaha beat Chicago Fire. That's a Division III team beating an MLS team. That was the big one of last night in penalties. And a free kick on the way for the Red Bulls. It's going to be tough to top that upset. There will be options for it. We know that's how this tournament works. There will be exciting games. But Omaha, as a 3rd division team last night, they scored in the 121st minute to tie it at 2-2, and then won on penalties. On the road at Soldier Field against Chicago Fire. Doesn't get much better than that if you're on the Omaha side.
I was going to say.
It gets a lot better than that if you're on the Chicago side.
This is where Hartford needs to be careful. I mean, they had cover and support 2v1 down the side. There's no need to take silly fouls early on in this game in and around the 18-yard box. Where good service from wide areas. This is one of New York's strengths.
Amaya over it. Whips it in toward the back post and wide.
Another great service inside this 18-yard box. And I love the service that's coming in. It's at a level where it is blinding this goalkeeper of Slayton. You can see they're trying to use the sun to their advantage, just whipping this one in. Another redirection with the usage of the head inside the 18-yard box.
And it did take a deflection. It'll be New York's ball down in the corner. So Tolkien and Amaya once again conspire over it. Last time it was a quick pass into Amaya, who set it for Tolkien for that better angled cross. Going that way again. Tolkien to the top of the box for a crack that bounces through and wide. They'll do it again from the corner.
This is where Hartford needs to be switched on. This is the second corner from the same side, and they're still leaving themselves isolated at 2v1. They know they're going to play short. They have to send another defender out to create that 2v2 and don't allow time and space for New York to get in good quality service from this corner.
And then maybe that's where the Red Bulls catch you napping. They send in Joel Johnson, now Tolkien hits it long, and you have a numbers advantage.
But this is that communication. It's got to have communication for a 90-minute performance against a very strong side.
This time Tolkien does send it long near post. And this one is just headed wide by Nealis. So crisis averted, but we're 6 minutes into this, and with 2 free kicks, 3 corners, Red Bulls have already had 5 set-piece opportunities in 6 minutes. Jimmy Slayton this year just joined Hartford after a couple of seasons with Real Monarchs. 13 starts over those 2 years there with 3 clean sheets. And he is behind Austin Pack as the #1 keeper for Hartford, but gets a chance tonight to show Harry Watling what he can do. And if the first 6 minutes are any indication, it's going to be a busy evening for Jimmy Slayton to prove his worth. Fernandez will even go with Luquinhas. Still Fernandez. Morgan shot blocked. Kalen Nealis back to Sean Nealis. Sean, the older of the two. Brothers from Massapequa, New York. Covered well in the midfield by Peter Lee Vassell.
And that's the type of work rate that Hartford's going to need, with Vassell just tracking back that run, good defensive effort, and then being able to keep that ball. But they need to do better in this attacking third for Hartford. They're getting into these areas, and once they do, they have to keep it a little bit of time on the ball to allow more players to get up and support. They've been defending for the first 8 minutes of this game. They need a little bit of breather and a little bit of confidence moving this ball forward.
Yearwood hits it over the top. A lot of hand fighting going on there. Dulu. You'll know when he touches the ball because the fans will serenade him with the twos. Andre Lewis, look how deep he is. That's a guy that Hartford wants near the top of the formation. Having trouble right now with that high press of the Red Bulls. Chipped in over the top and into the hands of Slayton. This press gives a lot of MLS teams issues week in, week out for the Red Bulls. And right now it's giving Hartford some problems.
It is, and for Hartford, sometimes you can see they're just trying to play it at the back. But New York Red Bulls are setting traps. They're allowing them, look at this, allowing them either to play down this right-hand side, down the left-hand side, and then they collapse on you. A 3v1, make you play back, make you make a mistake, and make you knock it long. But then they're winning that first and second phase. So if Hartford want to play long, they got to contest. Either it's that first header or the midfield picking up the seconds.
Luquinhas laid it off from Morgan. Now Tolkien. His delivery is blocked as Lewis flies through. Andre Lewis over this year to Hartford from Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Played 40 matches over the last 2 seasons for Colorado Springs. 8 years ago, he was the 7th overall pick in the MLS draft by Vancouver Whitecaps. Now finding a home in Hartford and on the ball again with some space in the middle. Here it passed back to Mojadama. Another one of those new faces on that back line for Hartford this year as they made that back line over. He comes from FC Tulsa. Vassell has to play the way he's facing and just cleared out by Jimmy Slayton. Klimala hands it off for Luquinhas. Now Amaya. Luquinhas again, in toward Klimala. Try to get it his way as much as possible. Last year, 8 goals, 7 assists, leading the way for the Red Bulls. Just over the line in front of Harry Watling, who is now in his 2nd season with Hartford. Last year, they started off really hot, faltered toward the end, missed out on the postseason. This year, with all the signings they brought in, particularly on the back line, shifting the focus to the way they play defensively, was hoping that it would pay dividends. Early on, it's been a struggle for them. You alluded to it earlier, Kalen, just 1 point so far from league play. And again, pinned in deep here, just out for a goal kick.
And it's been a weird season for them thus far. Yeah, they have no wins, but you look at the defensive side. This is what they wanted to clean up. And defensively, they look quite strong. They get back, they make those recovery runs, they have good center backs, good full backs, win those area battles. And And it's just they cannot put the ball into the back of the net. I mean, any of the games that you've watched, their XGs are always high, the final third entries are always high, chance creations are always high, but it's just that finishing. It's the quality in and around the 18-yard box that needs to be cleaned up. Yes, they have some key injuries, so maybe once those players do come back, it will help out this team and maybe give them some confidence when they do get into those dangerous areas.
And it's been, to be fair, a very tough schedule to start off for Hartford. They go up against Pittsburgh on the road to begin things, then at Tampa Bay Rowdies, two of the top teams in the Eastern Conference in league play. They falter at home against Atlanta United too. That's probably a game they should have won, and then lost as well to Birmingham Legion. But here's the first yellow card of the match. It is given to Sean Nealis.
I just see Sean Nealis here. It's that 50-50 battle that I was talking about, that Hartford was kind of letting themselves down. I think the yellow card was for and maybe an intentional handball there, because I didn't see obviously any contact. So
good eye there. Looks like that's what it was. As Barrera tried to turn the corner, looked like he just slipped on the turf with that initial handball, as you pointed out. Here's up Holland.
ooh.
Good ball to the back post, and Tolkien not taking any chances. Just heads it out for a corner.
And these are those moments that I was speaking of with Hartford. All the hard work, great service, fabulous service inside this 18-yard box. He's got the whip, he's got the power in behind it, bends it behind this back four, but it's just that final run, someone driving back post, someone just contesting, going up for this header to try to make it unstable. Maybe you might not score a goal, but maybe make a defender make a mistake, an own goal, goalkeeper maybe keep him on that back line. They've got to be more crucial and threatening once they're inside that 18-6.
Peter Lee Vassell standing over the corner, but looks like he'll leave that now for Danny Barrera. 8 goals and a league high 12 assists last season for the man wearing the captain's armband, standing over this corner kick. Whips it in and headed away by Nealis. Joel Johnson staying up in the attack, allows Vassell to come back. Given away, good pressure here by the Red Bulls. Here's Morgan orchestrating the attack. Lewis Morgan floats it toward the back post. Just over the head of Tamala. Aaron Long, anchor of the back line for the Red Bulls. He's been in this organization for so long and done so well. Made his Open Cup debut back in 2017 when this Red Bulls team made it all the way to the final before losing to Sporting Kansas City. Aaron Long has seen a lot on that back line, and he has twice been named the MLS's Defender of the Year, 2016 and 2018. Scoreless through a quarter of an hour. Here from Trinity Health with Kalen Kyle, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us on ESPN+. Round 3 action in the 2022 Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. Nealis takes it down for Tolkien. Here's Morgan.
I think give credit where credit's due. You look at Hartford's defensive shape so far. When New York is trying to build up play through the midfield, they have players in the right spot. They're dropping deep defensively, trying to create a little bit of havoc, trying to create frustration. So can they keep this going? Can they keep a strong mindset? And then once they are moving that ball forward, just take that extra touch to allow time for players to get up and support.
Nealis spots to run on the backside for Morgan, but puts way too much on that ball. You're seeing Morgan get forward a lot in this system for the Red Bulls. Goes back to what you were saying earlier. Last year with Inter Miami, more of a defensive role, maybe not his bread and butter, a lot more comfortable back in this role.
Yeah, you look at the first season with Inter Miami. I mean, he was playing in that winger role, top goal scorer for Inter Miami, was always creating, whether it was on the left or the right-hand side, the ability to roll inside and create 2v1s with the number 9, whether they're popping up the front, he can get forward. And in that second season was playing more of a wing-back role, very defensive-minded, though, obviously obviously Inter Miami struggling last season, and now playing in a more preferred advanced role. And this is where he is so successful, and this is why he's finding success with New York Red Bulls. They love to press high up the pitch and get numbers forward.
Already had some chemistry with Klimala. Morgan and Klimala spent a couple of years together at Celtic. Holland goes back with it for Tom Brewitt. Comes over from Tacoma Defiance. Just continuing to roll through the roll call of this back line for Hartford and where they were last year, because it wasn't Hartford. A total makeover on that back line, and Brewitt is the anchor of it. Amaya into Fernandez, has a go of it. Look at that back line. Tulu was here. Apollon signed right before the roster freeze in September last year. Joel Johnson's a new face. Tom Brewitt's a new face. Mo Jadama's a new face. You could tell last year that Harry Watland was not happy with the way this team defended. And they will be asked to defend here again. Morgan has a go and sneaks it in. Lewis Morgan with the right foot puts the Red Bulls up in the 18th minute.
And going back to where Lewis Morgan is the most successful is high up the pitch, whether it's the left or the right. He's been playing down this right-hand side for the first 17 minutes, but just has the ability, comes out to this left-hand side, trying to play out of the back, this long ball. And this is where Red Bull have been better in this game, winning that first phase and then connecting on this second phase. Still good defensive pressure in and around it. 3 defensive players. I think Slayton has to do better here, though. Not good enough from the goalkeeper. You can see with this hit, there's not really any pace, there's not really any power, and it beats you on that near post. I think for me, Slayton had to do better, should have got his hand to this, but a great goal from Lewis Morgan to allow Red Bulls to go up 1-0 in 18.
Comes over from Inter Miami for $1.2 million in general allocation money. And so far, so good for the Red Bulls. 3 goals in league play, and this one here. For all the threatening attacks the Red Bulls have had through nearly 20 minutes, that one seemed among the least threatening. They didn't have numbers, they didn't have much, but he snuck it through.
And that's why I'm being a little bit hard on the goalkeeper with Slayton. I think he could have done better. He should have done better. Now you can make the argument that he had traffic through him. He didn't have that vision to see where the ball was tracking, but I think he had enough time to get down and push that one out of danger's way.
Now Hartford has to come from behind. It's a position that's all too familiar for them this season in league play. Back in 2019, when they made their tournament debut, they got through their first match, a 2-1 win over a different New York team, the New York Cosmos, and then lost to a fellow USL side in the second round when they fell 4-0 to Memphis 901. Hoping to improve upon that this time around. Tough draw against the Red Bulls. They had that win in the last round against Oyster Bay United 3-1. And now they will have to battle from behind. Here's Brewitt. Spent a decade in Liverpool's youth system before coming stateside. Tulu, pleasant surprise on this team last season, Hartford. Glad to have him back in a prominent role. Near the top of the team in minutes played. Tulu on that back line, led in clearances and blocks. Never really had a chance at any of his prior stops. Always a few games here, a few games there. Last year he finally broke out and was able to thrive in Hartford. Back over to Tulu. Played so well last year, actually earned his first call up to Togo's national team for World Cup qualifying. Vassell. Barrera just didn't catch all of it as he was looking for Mitchell Curry. Hartford not having an easy time getting through the Red Bulls lines. Red Bulls, on the other hand, cutting through on the attack any chance they get. Floated into the middle and knocked out for a corner kick.
And just jumping back to your point with Hartford, defensively, other than obviously the goal they let up, they've looked pretty good against a very fluid New York Red Bull side. Even here, just the tracking back to get numbers back, the tracking into the box, the little look over the shoulder, had everything cleaned up inside that 18. The midfield for Hartford need to be better. They have to get on the ball, they have to play quicker, they have to find those pockets of space, get on the half turns, and start being brave. Because you look at that last little rotation that they had, they looked quite good, but it's just not consistent enough. They almost look a little bit scared to get on the ball because they don't want to make a mistake in the middle of the park. They have to.
And right now they have to defend yet another set piece. Red Bulls already 8 shots, 2 on target in 22 minutes. Good delivery, Long's header's deflected. It might be out for a corner again. And it will be. Long just had a very busy month helping the United States qualify for the World Cup. He's got 23 caps for his country. Amaya once again. High arcing ball toward that back post. Over everything. Klimala goes down. It will just be a goal kick. Not a whole lot there.
No, he sold it a little bit, but that's what good strikers do.
This one of 13 matches to be played this evening. Over the top again to Morgan. Tulu trying to keep it in to avoid the corner. Over toward the flag. And it's out for a throw-in. Match furthest along right now is Rochester at home against FC Motown. Rochester up 2-1 with 25 minutes to go, but down a man as they try to see that one through. Every other game except for this one is scoreless. And there are still 7 that have yet to kick off on a very busy Wednesday evening in the 3rd round of the Open Cup. Tolkien's long throw, dealt with by Joel Johnson. Sent right back into the mixer toward Long. Amaya brings it down. Amaya strikes it off the post. Long taps it in. He got his first goal in Open Cup play for the Red Bulls back in 2018. He adds another here in 2022. The captain, a long stint away after tearing his Achilles. Back where he belongs for the Red Bulls.
And if you're Slayton, you are devastated with this goal because he did all the hard work. You look at this, defenders all in the box. I mean, again, you have numbers up, but players being switched on. A brilliant save from Slayton through traffic to keep this one out of the net. And you have 2 defensive players standing flat-footed back post as if they were in quicksand. You have to always track your markers into the box. Great goal from Long to give New York Red Bulls a 2-0 lead.
Long looking a little bit like a center back, though, on that one. He almost passed it right back into Slayton.
He didn't need to do anything. No one was tracking him. He was left wide open inside the 6-yard box. I would be shocked if he would have missed that.
So Morgan in the 18th, Long in the 25th. And the Red Bulls want some more. Klimala cutting it back to his right foot in a sea of blue jerseys. Back for Amaya. Tolkien. Nealis comes in hard.
And speaking of Kamala, we've touched on his name a few times. This is a game and an opportunity for a player like this to gain some confidence, get on the score sheet, and just take a little bit of pressure off of him through matches. So going to be a huge game for him, and then also a huge game for Hartford to crawl their way back into this one.
That's not going to help turning it over after that quick free kick. The shot is wide from Luquinhas. they are struggling to get out of their own end.
They are, and it's only going to get tougher. You're 2-0 down. Red Bulls are continuing to press high up the pitch. But tactically, Hartford haven't changed anything. They haven't shifted anything. They haven't created more in that midfield. They're still trying to play out of their back on their 6-yard box. Make this an ugly game. Try to just go for a goal. It doesn't always have to be pretty. You don't need to play pretty football for 90 minutes when you are down 2-0 in 26 minutes.
So far, Hartford has 3 passes in the Red Bulls' final third. The Red Bulls have 23 passes in Hartford's final third. And that paints the picture right there as far as the territory in which this match is being played. Sale, the Jamaican international, gives it away. And again, Amaya puts a foot in. This time, Bassel draws the foul. '24th Open Cup for the Red Bulls. Their overall record, 26 wins, 22 losses, and 3 draws that were settled in penalties. They've twice reached a final, 2003, 2017, lost both times, New York. First time 1-0 to Chicago Fire, second time 2-1 to Sporting Kansas City. They've had peaks and valleys as an organization in this tournament, hoping to ascend once again this year. Good start so far. Luquinha squares it back. Klimala turn stop made. Rebound still loose in front. Morgan shot blocked. Slayton did well to keep that one out, and then some group defending in an emergency situation. Morgan hasn't gotten up though behind the play. Now just to his feet as Luquinha sends that one away. But more danger at the back now for Hartford.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see when Harry Watling is going to make a tactical adjustment. They're still with 3 at the back, and there's just too much pressure and too many overloads. You look at this New York Red Bull side and the rotation that this front 3 is having, it's far too much to deal with. They have to drop another defender in this back line. Right now, there are 3-5 through the midfield, and it looks like they're playing down a man in the midfield, so it's not working anyways.
Lewis to Johnson. Now Perpa. Barrera. Bassel loses it. Just when it looked promising for Hartford.
Yep, so number 7's going to go in for number 12.
Seems like we have a sub getting ready down on the sideline for the Red Bulls.
And it sounds like Dylan Nealis, which I'm not shocked with this one. Already picked up the yellow card. 2-0 up at the moment.
Back for Amaya. Skies that one over to Morgan. Half an hour gone, all Red Bulls so far.
And this is a game where it's only going to get ugly. It's only going to get messy. So why keep someone in when they are sitting on a yellow card that have picked up other fouls other than picking up that yellow as well? So kind of the writing's on the wall. It would be a good managerial tactical or sub to make at this moment.
And it's Tom Edwards who's getting ready to come in. And that will be it. Dylan Nealis out, Tom Edwards in. Edwards, a 23-year-old from England, with Stoke City on loan to the Red Bulls. They decided to hold up that sub for one more moment. Edwards still on the sideline, Nealis still in the match. Bassel. Chidama got it to Apollon. Battling on Nealis. They're trying to get him out of the match, as you're mentioning, and he's still getting involved before that happens. that now will be his final involvement.
It's a fantastic sub as well. I mean, you look at Dylan Nealis, and you know, of watching his game, pace isn't his best attribute, and he's going up against an opponent that's taking him on 1v1 when they do have the opportunities. Hartford always coming down this left-hand side, trying to create these overloads and get a player like him sent off in those 1v1 situations. He understands. He knows this is a great sub. He's probably not mad. You never want to be subbed off in the first 45 minutes as a player. It does hurt your confidence, but he knows there's way more on the line, him getting a red card and missing matches.
Quiet night so far for Ryan Mara at the back. That's the goal kick back into play. Mara has just been a good soldier for a long time for the Red Bulls. He was drafted back in 2012, started as a rookie, and really had a strong season. And then a certain someone by the name of Luis Robles comes into town, and he's a club legend who's having his ceremony to have his number honored and his career honored in July. They're putting him into Legends Row at Red Bull Arena, so it's tough to sit behind someone like that. And then he gets another year to start in 2020, and then comes Carlos Coronel. So he's been caught between a couple of big-time goalkeepers for the Red Bulls and has just kind of stayed the course, been a top backup.
This is what you want sometimes as a backup goalkeeper, though. You don't want someone to come in and cause havoc, always be that complainer in the locker room and say, why not me? I'm better. He's made a mistake in this game. That's not how goalkeepers work. You want someone in that number 2 spot that's always going to push number 1 to be better week in and week out, have that confidence, be able to sit down with the first string goalkeeper and to say, hey, let's look over some game tape. I noticed this in your game, and this is exactly what Mara has done. I mean, the 31-year-old veteran, you alluded to it, has been in the league forever, so it's great to see him get a start here, first one since November 2020, because it's well-deserved.
10 years, one organization.
Tells you everything you need to know about the player.
And even as far as playing in USL with New York Red Bulls 2 and being a veteran presence for that young team in USL, he's done it all. Fernandez takes a strike himself with a left foot. Might have taken a deflection again. And it will be another corner for the Red Bulls. Already with 15 shots in the match, this will be their 6th corner. At the other end, no shots attempted yet for Hartford, let alone any on target. Maya and Tolkien exchanging some words down in the corner. Maya wants to make sure he's got enough space to get this in. Trying to back up Johnson, curls it in himself. Morgan out for Tolkien. Numbers still forward for New York. Long, Morgan. He's a man who's confident right now.
Morgan's feeling himself today, and why not? And this is the best part of Morgan's game, is he can play anywhere in that attacking third because he's good with both of his feet.
Good with both of his feet. You got to see him a lot for Inter Miami last year, Kalen. Is there a side he prefers? Because he genuinely looks comfortable with both.
No, I think he is. I mean, I would have loved to have had that skill when I played, but even in training sessions, I mean, you see him taking free kicks in and around the 18, and he's like, it's on the left, I got this, no problem. It's on the right, no problem, I got this as well. So, I mean, not only is he a fantastic player on the pitch, it's actually what he does off the pitch. He's such a leader. He is one of the hardest workers I've ever seen off the pitch as well. So it's great to see him having success here at Red Bulls.
This one finds a way through to the right side for Edwards. Floats it in. The header parried over the bar. Long nearly had a second. Slayton made the stop.
Never mind Morgan having himself a day. I mean, you have your center back just staying in the mix here, and this is that confidence that Red Bulls has right now. I mean, just getting up and over and just generating this power. Again, good defensive responsibility from Hartford. Right place, right time. Just makes a little bit of contact, and a great save from Slayton. He's got his work cut out for him in this first 45.
That was a 16th shot, and this is going to be a 7th corner through 36 minutes. Amaya's ball toward Edwards, flicked on, and just wide by Long. Sean Nealis was waiting for it.
These next 5 minutes for Hartford are going to be so important. They cannot concede another goal. They have to get into the locker room at 45 and just be only 2-0 down and then regroup. They need to switch this formation. It is not working. They're not being able to play out the back. They're not creating overloads in wide areas where they do have those wing backs trying to join the attack because the front runners are left so isolated. They're having to drop so deep, so defensively, and in that quick transition, they can't get forward quick enough.
Again from Mara. And now Nealis. Just want to go back and correct something here, Kalen. I was caught up in the same thing that you were. It was Sean Nealis who got the yellow card for that handball. So hopefully everything's okay with Dylan and there was no injury as far as why he was lifted early. The yellow card was to Sean Nealis earlier in the first half.
Great catch. Apologies, everyone.
Well, you got two Nealis brothers playing on the right side of the back line. They were both over by that play where the referee gave the yellow.
And I'm still going to stick with maybe what I said there. I mean, you look...
Quick shot just wide. You can't take a quick moment to go into any other side right now with the way the Red Bulls are attacking. Something you brought up earlier in the match as far as the quick turnaround back to league play for the Red Bulls. You get a quick lead like this, it gives you that luxury to be able to take off Nealis and bring on Edwards.
And I think even Dylan Nealis down this right-hand side probably wouldn't have been happy with his performance. I mean, coming into late challenges, I think maybe lucky not to pick up a yellow here and there, and then just dealing with that handful. And like you alluded to, he could have a little bit of a knock that we don't know about in training sessions, wanting to see how he could get on just maybe in 45 minutes and maybe have that sub at 45 and just wasn't able to go. So
very animated Harry Watling down on the sideline. I wonder what's going through his mind right now. Just feels like he's pushing all the right buttons for this team and feels like he has the personnel. Just the results haven't been there yet. Yearwood wins it back in the middle. Here's Edwards. Just deflected before it got to Klimala off the top of Tom Brewitt's head. Elsewhere in MLS against USL action, Charlotte just took a 1-0 lead over Greenville. That's another MLS against USL League One matchup. First division against third division. And the only other matchup of that nature so far last night, the big upset of Union Omaha over Chicago Fire. So far, MLS teams taking care of business. 7 of the 9 who played yesterday advanced, and the rest of those teams that entered at this juncture of the tournament playing tonight. 8 more teams enter the mix for the round of 32. That draw tomorrow at noon. Tolkien, great delivery. Klimala just missed it.
This would have been a brilliant goal for Kamala, and just touching back on what I touched on earlier, just one of those confidence goals as well. I mean, they've been dominating everywhere. It's great service from that wide area, and just can't redirect this one. I think he completely misses this one.
Searching for answers every time they're trying to get out of their own third here. Just saw there for a moment Lewis was stopping, standing still, looking around, and now it's back again at Slayton's feet under pressure. And he just has to bomb it away and hope for the best. Foul bails out Hartford there.
It's just very individualized from Hartford at the moment. It's passing, it's almost wishing your teammate the best. And this is the worst thing that you can have on the pitch, is getting that straight ball for a straight run when you got a player coming up your backside. And if you do, you need an outlet pass, whether that's inside, a little bounce pass to then play long with runners in behind. And right now, Hartford just don't look like they have a system that's working at the moment for them.
Tulu directing traffic. Just has to go back with it again to Slayton. Here's Vassell. Picks the head up and only picks out Tolkien. Tried to slot it through and thread the needle for Joel Johnson. Almost seems like whenever they do get across midfield, they're trying to force it. Hartford now down 2 goals and not seeing much of the ball.
Hey, come on, boys.
Give me 1 minute to confirm that.
Fernandez leaves Jadama behind. And then he's taken down hard by Peter Lee Vassell. This might be a card. It will be yellow.
And this is the correct call from the referee. I mean, the player knows it's the correct call as well. He knows he's not going to be able to win this ball. It's a great little last touch just to come around that defender. Gets taken down. A great opportunity for New York just around this 18-yard box. We've seen them from service, from corners, or free kick, dead ball opportunities. Wondering if Lewis Morgan is feeling himself to put this one on the frame, though.
Here's where you kind of get your answer if he prefers the left foot or the right foot more. He stands over it with the left foot. Doesn't necessarily mean he does prefer it, because we saw the goal he scored with the right foot.
But this is the player that, I mean, pick your poison. Whether this is bending in towards the goalkeeper, or he can even bend it out in behind the back line. It's so difficult to read.
With a minute to go in the half. A chance for the Red Bulls to make it 3. First, Ernie Constantine in for a word. Morgan lofts it toward the back post. Loose in front. Saved by Slayton. That shot came from about a yard away off the head of Klimala, and Slayton kept it out. Fernandez caught it clean on the way down, but well off target.
And this is that service that I was talking about with Morgan. I mean, he could have hit this one and put it on frame. He has that in his locker, but it's so difficult to read this ball. As a goalkeeper, Slayton does extremely well here to stay on his line, because the service is brilliant, far enough away that the goalkeeper can't come out and punch this one out of danger's way. And then Kamala just not being able to connect on this one. He's had numerous opportunities in this first 45 minutes. You'd love to see him put one away.
He's got to be wondering at this point what he has to do to get a goal in this match. Just that 1 minute of added time in a half that has been dominated by the visitors. Every now and then you'll get an MLS team in this round of this tournament who does put out their best 11 or something resembling their best 11, and you applaud it, because this tournament should be taken seriously, and some teams don't at the end of the day, right, wrong, or indifferent. And they have put their best out there, and they have a 2-0 lead and a 20-0 shot advantage, but maybe a chance at the end of the half for Hartford, but sent away. Here's Barrera. Quick breakout for the Red Bulls in the closing seconds. Yearwood. A halftime whistle very welcomed by Hartford. They're losing 2-0. They're being outshot 20-0. A masterclass in the first half by New York.
Yeah, usually I hate stats, but stats are completely telling the story of this game. New York have dominated from whistle to whistle in this first 45 minutes. This man right here, Lewis Morgan, has been a beast, to say the least. I mean, playing on both sides of the ball. So even when Hartford do break and have that quick pass, you have strikers coming down to make those defensive big plays. You have center back scoring goal, Long still trying to stay in the mix, and just opportunities after opportunities for New York.
The Red Bulls are relishing their first crack at the U.S. Open Cup since they last played in June of 2019. That was a loss against New England Revolution. They're back up in that neck of the woods, but this one going their way so far. We're back in a few with half number 2.
For me, one of the best things about life.
I'm not gonna keep telling you this because I'm not your mama.
But you're my big brother.
You spend too much money.
It's not that bad.
Our electricity bill is double of what it usually is. I can't front that.
Good thing I've got Chime. They spot eligible members up to $200 on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals, with no overdraft fees.
Oh, for those unexpected surprises, huh? You lucky Chime's got your back. Wait, is this mine?
Okay, so Chime's got my back, but you don't?
Girl.
Betrayal.
We're scientists, we're engineers, we dance, but not so well.
Windows 11 makes things easier.
One of the biggest features I use is multiple desktops. I go from being a student to being a gamer.
Being a mentor is one of the biggest dreams we have.
And Windows 11 helps us do it.
Well, I prefer to hit the trail and greenways on my bike. When I do fly, I fly ROA.
At Metro by T-Mobile, you can upgrade your adventure because we're giving you more choices with the largest selection of free 5G phones from brands you love, like Samsung. Switch now and save more. Only at Metro.
Introducing the all-new Ego Power Plus blower, reaching an incredible 765 CFM. It runs up to 90 minutes on a single charge. That's why Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, exclusively at Lowe's, Ace, and Ego authorized dealers.
This is a game between two arch rivals. Lewandowski! Erling Haaland! Dortmund absolutely superb. Bayern is on fire.
What can you expect from ButcherBox? 100% grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, and so much more, all with free shipping right to your door. Get free ground beef for the life of your membership.
When 140-mile-per-hour winds come out of nowhere and try to wipe you off the map. When you look up and see sky where your roof used to be. When the power is out and stays out for 7 or 8 or 10 days. When the phone lines are down and the cell phones have all gone dead, you find out who your friends are. Because the worst brings out our best.
We're scientists, we're engineers, we dance, but not so well.
Windows 11 makes things easier.
One of the biggest features I use is multiple desktops. I go from being a student to being a gamer.
Being a mentor is one of the biggest dreams we have.
And Windows 11 helps us do it.
Carvana's had a lot of firsts. 100% online car buying, car vending machines, and now putting you in control of your financing. At Carvana, get personalized terms, browse for cars that fit your budget, then customize your down payment and monthly payment. And these aren't made-up numbers. It's what you'll really pay, right down to the penny. Whether you're shopping or just looking, it only takes a few seconds and it won't affect your credit score. Finally, a totally different way to finance your ride. Only from Carvana.
We appreciate the business. Here at Mac and Bob's, we know the power of community support. That's why when we fly ROA.
At Metro by T-Mobile, you can upgrade to 5G and save more with one line of unlimited 5G for just $40, period. That's the lowest price in prepaid. Switch now and take your movie night to new heights with 5G. Only at Metro.
Introducing the world's first power load string trimmer with Line IQ technology. It loads the line automatically and keeps the line extended to maintain full trimming power. Ego is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, exclusively at Lowe's, Ace, and Ego authorized dealers.
Take control of your health by boosting your force field, the immune system. With the Aura Ring, you can listen to your body's signals and raise your defenses. Aura tells you when your temperature is higher than normal, how to improve your sleep, or if your heart rate shows signs of stress, so you can decide to push yourself or to lie low. Live smarter, stronger, healthier with the Aura Ring. Aura.
This is a game between two arch rivals. Lewandowski! Erling Haaland! Dortmund absolutely superb. Bayern is on fire.
The Brewers and the Phillies, two clubs with high hopes on Sunday Night Baseball.
We're Malik and Mouse. We're scientists, we're engineers, we dance, but not so well. We get really excited about science, and we want to share that excitement with the world.
Windows 11 makes things easier.
One of the biggest features I use is multiple desktops. By just swiping the screen, I go from being a student to being a gamer.
With Snap Assist, I can have all the important applications on at once. Being a mentor to young scientists is one of the biggest dreams we have.
And Windows 11 helps us do it.
I'm not gonna keep telling you this because I'm not your mama.
But you're my big brother.
You spend too much money.
It's not that bad.
Our electricity bill is double of what it usually is. I can't front that.
Good thing I've got Chime. They spot eligible members up to $200 on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals, with no overdraft fees.
Oh, for those unexpected surprises, huh? You're lucky Chime's got your back. Wait, is this mine?
Okay, so Chime's got my back, but you don't?
Girl.
Betrayal.
Now more than ever, it's important to support our local economy. That's why when I fly ROA.
Welcome to Future, the fitness program that pairs you with your own dedicated coach.
Great job, Kim. You haven't missed a workout in 2 months.
You have this person that is genuinely there for you to help you reach those goals.
Kyle, seeing your heart rate pick up, let's keep that intensity until the end.
Pushing the boundaries, getting a surprise workout that whoops you.
Anybody at any fitness level, you have a coach that meets you exactly where you're at.
It's more than an app. It's more than a personal trainer. It's your future.
At Metro by T-Mobile, you can upgrade your adventure because we're giving you more choices with the largest selection of free 5G phones from brands you love like Samsung. Switch now and save more. Only at Metro.
Hack your first shave with the Philips One Blade First Shave. Designed to protect your skin against nicks, cuts, and burns. Hack your first shave.
This is a game between two arch rivals. Lewandowski! Erling Haaland!
I knew things were coming to an end.
I was like, Tampa.
When you're the man in the arena, there's no thrill like that. There's still a desire to win.
Okay, you're running some changes? Yep. Can you have whoever's coming come here when everyone else takes the field? Perfect. Appreciate you, Coach. They haven't given me anything. I'll let you know when I get some cards, all right? All right, okay, you got 3 games. Okay, make sure that they check in here when the rest of the field players take the field. We're going to back to the line.
Get me a smelling suit.
Yeah. That's correct. 3 thumbs for blue, 1 for white. I'm going to give 1 number for each team, okay?
It was quite the half for the New York Red Bulls to begin things on the road here in the 3rd round of the 2022 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. A look back at those first half highlights. They will be exclusively at one side of the field because that's how that first half was played.
Yeah, it was completely New York Red Bulls all over them. The high press was just suffocating for this Hartford side, and Hartford couldn't get out of their own way. I mean, even defensively here, 3 players in and around Lewis Morgan. This isn't a very hard shot. There's no power behind it. Slayton has to do better on this. A little bit of a slip, but still, I guess you can make the case that it's through 3 defenders and he maybe couldn't see the ball, but then he had big saves. I mean, 4 massive saves to keep this one potentially not even 5-0. Great ball into the box. Another a little bit of a sloppy clearance. Wins the first phase, doesn't win the second phase. And this is that save that I was talking about. But defenders caught sleeping at this back post. And it's none other than Long that puts this one into the back of the net. Tries to almost play it back to the goalkeeper. And he had another great opportunity as well in this first 45 minutes. Wow.
I mean, do you need to say anything that the stats don't say?
No, I've honestly never... I've never seen stats like this. I mean, you look at the shots and then the shots on target, possession. I mean, yeah, in favor, but there's just that pass, sideways passing, backwards passing. Once they get into that attacking third, there's just no creativity whatsoever, and it's very individualized. There's no playing out of pressure. There's no creating 2v1s in wide areas. So it'd be interesting to see if there was any tactical change from Harry Watling at 45.
Well, there was one sub to get you for the Red Bulls. Frankie Amaya out, Christian Cáceres in. That one like for like in the midfield for the Red Bulls. And we will have a third crack at the kickoff. First one, a false start on Hartford. Second one, a false start on the Red Bulls. Third time's hopefully the charm here, so we can get things going in half number 2. There we go, much more like it. With Kale and Kyle, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us on ESPN+. 2 goals in that first half from the Red Bulls, now just trying to hold on to this one, maybe add to it, and get through to that round of 32. It's right back onto the attack for New York. Get you those subs in a moment. That came in on the Hartford side. He made a couple of them. Rashawn Daly, one of the ones into the match. He just gave chase there. Big number 18 in blue for Hartford as they attack from left to right. Came into the match from Mitchell Curry, who we didn't hear much from in the first half, but to be fair, they just didn't have the ball at that end much in the first half. Connor McGlynn also into the match. Italy Vassal exits. He had a yellow card in there. Wonder if that played a part. And Yunus Bodati in for Tulu. So 3 big changes for Harry Watling.
Entering number 2, Yunus Bodati. Replacing number 4, Tulu.
It was Morgan, Edwards, and Cáceres thinking about the free kick, and they've all now given way to Morgan, it seems. Took a free kick with the left foot at the end of the first half. Now lining up for this one with the right foot. Morgan curls it back of the 6. McGlynn heads it away. Here's Daly. Charging forward for Hartford. A man on an island though right now, but he draws the foul. Well done by Rashawn Daly. That gets the crowd into it a bit here at Trinity Health Stadium.
And this is what you want from a substitute coming off the bench with Daly down this left-hand side. Good strength here, holds off this first defender, then has the power to drive forward down this left-hand side. But still, look at how isolated it is. He's done all the hard work. Players for Hartford have to get up quicker. They have to have an option pass for him in these areas. Now, yes, he's picked up a great set-piece opportunity, but these are those little adjustments, those little mindsets that have to change for Hartford if they want to get back into this game.
Daly spent some time with FC Cincinnati, 19 and 20, and then Memphis 901 as well in 2019 on loan, and then signed in 2021. Still loose in the middle. Mera backed into by Daly, and he is called for the foul. Trying to plead his case that he stood his ground, but stood his ground as he inched backward into Ryan Mera. That one's not going to fly. Anytime you get 3 substitutions from a manager at halftime, it's sending a message that, look, it just wasn't good enough in that first 45. That's a lot of changes to make.
It is a lot of changes to make, but also look at what New York Red Bulls started with. They looked around at what other MLS teams, 2 big MLS teams getting knocked out early on, and said, we're not going to be one of those teams. We want to go far in this competition. It's a huge competition. And you look at the shots, it tells you everything that you needed to know. They dominated from first whistle to last whistle in that first 45 minutes.
Trying to capture an elusive title in this tournament. Twice they've made the final, twice they've lost the final. When they were the Metro Stars before the name change, they made the semifinal 4 times and had that 1 championship appearance. After the name change to Red Bulls, they went 9 years without advancing past a second game in the tournament. And they'd win the first, whether it was the 3rd round they entered into or the 2nd round they entered into. They'd win that first game, lose the second. So they went through quite a drought there. But that success started creeping back in 2015, a trip to the quarterfinals, and then 2017, a run back to the final. Morgan lofts it in, long, looking for it. Found by Edwards. Tolkien's cross blocked. Yearwood, whether shot or cross, not sure, ends up out of play.
And this is just that confidence on set pieces that New York has. I mean, puts this one back across the pitch to try to redirect this one into the mix where all the players are.
Some contact there, and the assistant referee comes to the aid of Ernie Constantine to call a foul.
Now, to be fair to Long, he does get the ball, but unfortunately does make that contact initially through the backside here. You can see just the arm come across, does win the ball. It's a great tackle, but it is the right call from the referee. Contact first, player going down. Don't even know how he's wrapped his leg around to get that ball, but correct call from the ref.
5 minutes gone in the second half, and already more threatening in the attack from Hartford going forward. They've generated a couple of set pieces. Now, can they make one of them count as Banana stands over the free kick? Plays it to the top of the box. Set play here. McGlynn blasts it. McGlynn scores. Hartford on the comeback trail.
And this is the reaction you needed. I mean, player coming off the bench in McGlynn, trying to spark a little bit of life into this team. And I alluded to it in the first half. It doesn't always need to be pretty. This one is off of the training pitch. This is beautiful, by the way. Barrera just slotting this one top of the 18-yard box. Low, hard, driven through traffic. What a response from this Hartford side in the second 45 minutes.
Buckle up. Maybe not what we thought it was going to be after watching the first 45.
Wow.
One shot on target, one goal. That's a way to start the second half. And a manager will love that. He makes the move at halftime to bring in McGlynn.
Yep.
Looks good already. 6 minutes in, he gets a goal. Connor McGlynn was discovered at an open tryout back in 2019 by this club, signed in 2020. That was a heavy tackle.
Yeah.
Ernie Constantine pointing to the ball, saying it was clean. Klimala doesn't think so. He's still on the ground back behind the play. Bernard Struber giving the fourth official an earful as the play continues with Klimala down.
And I think
that ball just rifled into the stands by Caceres. Temperature of this match rising in the second half very quickly, and there it continues to rise as Caceres and Jadama shove each other.
Look, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that Hartford locker room with Harry Watling, because he's definitely lit a fire under some of these players, which they needed. Substitutes coming in and making a difference, saying it's not good enough. You got to get stuck into tackles. Now, it looks like initially he does get almost a toenail on the ball, and this is why the referee is allowing this one to go. But this is a mindset shift with Hartford in this second 45 minutes. You didn't see them going in for big tackles. It was almost giving New York Red Bulls a little bit too much respect, because they deserved the respect in that first 45 minutes. They were absolutely all over them. Hopefully nothing serious has happened to Kamala here. It looked like it's almost he went over on his ankle, but
he might have gotten a sliver of the ball, but that was a
dangerous.
Lot of body and a dangerous challenge.
Very dangerous challenge.
Walking off on his own power. Back to the action. Fernandez. Klimala looks like he's okay. Darting out there atop the line while Fernandez carries. Yearwood and Caceres, brief miscommunication. Yearwood wins it back. Drew Yearwood takes it. Blocked by Jadama Now, Yearwood, a player that Hartford very familiar with. He played a lot for New York Red Bulls 2 in USL Championship last couple of seasons. So they got to see him a bit. Good ball sent it over the top. And it comes all the way through the other side for Barrera, who just got the slightest of touches to it. So it will remain New York's ball. Talk about what that goal does on one side for Hartford. How about the other side? Maybe the Red Bulls thought they would come out here, waltz through the second half like they did the first half. But now they see it's going to be a much different fight in the second 45.
Well, and everyone always says a 2-0 lead is one of the worst leads going into the second 45, and this is the reason. You get one, and you get that energy to push you into that last 45 minutes.
Tolkien. Fernandez. Back for Tolkien, back for Fernandez. Two combining well. Tolkien's delivery, save made! Slayton keeping this team alive.
I know it was hard on Slayton for that first goal. I thought he should have done better, but he has been massive for this Hartford side, keeping this one close. I mean, this game could easily be 4-1 at the moment. Another fabulous save from him, just tipping this one up and over the bar.
That is his 6th save, and none of them have been easy.
No.
They've all been like that.
And I will say, Harry Watling, I mean, he's made the tactical adjustment. I said he should have gone through 4 in the back in that first 45 minutes because they were just too exposed in that transition. He's done it in the second 45 and look a little bit more balanced.
Morgan's corner. We'll get a second chance at it. Did pick up a yellow card for time wasting in there. Another clean challenge. Or not. This time the referee coming in to call a foul.
And this is interesting. This, for me, the referee, you have to be consistent. Because if you're calling this a foul, you needed to call the one earlier on Kamala in the middle of the pitch because they are very similar tackles. To me, it looks like as if he has won this ball first, then comes through the player. So as a referee, in moments like this, in cup games, you have to be consistent or else you lose the players in games like this. You can see a great little run here. Player does come around, wins the ball initially. So this is the exact tackle that we saw just moments earlier. Just not consistent enough for me from the referee.
Yunus Budati, who made the challenge. Budati, 26 years old, from Belgium. Drafted back in 2020 by LAFC, did not sign with the club. Went to Reno and then comes over to Hartford. Tolkien being helped off the field. And after all that, is it a throw or is it a kick? I think the players are confused too. I initially called it a throw because I thought the referee did as well. Then he comes in, stands on a spot, and it's back to a throw-in after all that. Long throw from Morgan. Klimala tries something spectacular, and he didn't miss it by much. Confidence from Brewitt with the pressure from Fernandez. It is the Open Cup. You know these games are going to come to life at some point. I'm glad it has this way in the second half. Back through to Klimala. Contact, bodies flying, and Slayton ends up on top of it.
But just better balance from Hartford, even in that quick transition. New York Red Bull just play so quick, try to get at you, and almost are just very cutthroat in their transition. But putting 4 through this back for Hartford, it just allows a little bit more balance. It allows your center midfield just to sit in, screen off this back 4, make it difficult to play through, want them to play to those wide areas.
Elsewhere in extra time, Rochester and Motown are tied 2-2. Rochester is trying to handle the tough task of playing with 9 men. It's 11-on-9 in that game. So drama there in Rochester in extra time. Here's Klimala, parried away by Slayton. The save total rising now for the Hartford goalkeeper.
Handball.
You nailed it. Free kick on the way. Taking up to the hour mark. Half an hour at least to go, could be more. Greenville Triumph just equalized against Charlotte Football Club. That one's 1-1 in the second half. Another USL League One against MLS matchup. So now the goals are starting to pour in around this evening of action. Will we get another one here? Morgan's delivery skimmed on toward the back post. Slayton trips over the post, but keeps it out. Saw 11 teams punch their ticket to the round of 32 yesterday. Another 13 will do so today, and then 8 more MLS teams will be put into the pot in tomorrow's round of 32 draw. You can catch that at noon Eastern time on Twitter or YouTube on the U.S. Soccer or U.S. Open Cup pages. More information can be found on the U.S. Open Cup's Twitter page. That's at Open Cup. Luquinhas. Caceres with space. Fernandez to his left. Quick ball through to Morgan, who gives a thumbs up. Better ball from Caceres, and Morgan would have been in on goal.
And it's just how quick New York can just get you in that transition. But good heads-up play. Fullback just staying a little bit more at home. Knows what Morgan can do on this left-hand side.
Okay, upper left, 25 shots to 1. The criticism can be heaped on Hartford for some of the way they have played this game on the back end. Is it time to turn that onto the Red Bulls? 25 shots, only 2 goals to show for it, whereas Hartford is 1 for 1 and still in this game?
This is how football works, though. This is why it's the best game in the world. I mean, you can be the best team on the night, but not win the match. And for New York, I mean, they just have so much quality moving forward. I think Kamala hasn't shown me enough. When you do have so many opportunities, I think he's had 8 good goal-scoring opportunities and hasn't been able to put one into the back of the net. That's a problem for your number 9. That has to be cleaned up, whether that comes down to confidence or whether that comes down to maybe someone coming off the bench just to push him a little bit more that, hey, when you get your chances, you need to take them.
Kamala has 10 touches, most of those in and around the area, to your point. There's a good traveling contingent from the Red Bulls fans. There's, of course, a really strong home crowd from this Hartford fan base. And they have both come to life in this second half after a rather ho-hum first half that saw the Red Bulls dominate. Connor McGlynn breathed life into the venue, into the game, with an absolute thunderbolt in the 51st minute off the set piece. Yellow card to Jadama for some extracurricular there. And a sub being prepared for Hartford. Prince Sadie getting ready to check in. Told it will be for Luca Perpa. And there is Perpa making that long jog across the field.
You're all good to go. Get a bib on when you can, okay? Card number, please. Card number.
Sadie, the 29-year-old from Liberia. Already 2 assists in 5 league matches for Hartford this year after coming over from Phoenix Rising. Didn't really have a chance last year to get into a groove coming off the bench for Phoenix. Caceres through to Morgan, off the post! Deflecting all around as they try to clear Hartford. Still alive in the box. Luquinhas pops it to himself. And that's out for a goal kick. But more threatening play from New York as they try to retake a 2-goal lead.
But look at the movement from Morgan. Starts out wide on this left-hand side, and it looks as if Slayton does get a little bit of a touch on this just to push this one onto the bar. But Morgan's movement, for me, is one of the best in the MLS because he can do it from both flanks. He can do it even as that number 9 with the rotation up top. He's just such a quality player, knowing his surroundings. That vision and awareness off the ball is what makes him so dangerous once he gets the ball at his feet.
Edwards gets it back from Luquinhas. Long run from Fernandez to save it on the turf. Fernandez cutting, shooting. That one stayed true the whole time, never curled back. Zach Ryan will now enter for Patrick Klimala. To your point, Kalen, maybe left a lot on the field today, Klimala, in terms of chances, and maybe part of the reason why it still only is 2-1 for some of the chances he didn't convert.
Yeah, and sometimes it does. It comes down to confidence in your number 9. When it's just not there and the frustration, it starts to build week in and week out when you can't put the ball into the back of the net. But when you have clear-cut opportunities like he had tonight, you got to find that confidence from somewhere. It doesn't always need to be cute. It doesn't always need to be pretty. And the best part about him is he does all the hard work. He gets in the right positionings. It's just pulling maybe the trigger at the wrong time and maybe a little bit unlucky right now. This happens with number 9s, but he's got to clean this up moving forward just to help New York Red Bulls out in that final third.
Fernandez goes down. Foul goes against him. He thought for a moment as he popped up that he might see the referee pointing to the spot. I think that was a little hopeful for Momir Fernandez. With Zach Ryan coming into the match, just signed a homegrown deal with the Red Bulls. Has played 1 match this season, just a brief cameo sub for 1 minute at the end of a match. But a chance to get some run here in the Open Cup. Budati goes down. Foul called. This team has 1 shot. It was a goal off of a free kick. And they have another one now just outside the box.
And this is such a good spot. I mean, we just saw a great opportunity moments earlier that came from the goal straight off the training pitch. I love that he uses his body. You can see this. He sees that defender coming through his backside. You see that little look. Just drops his shoulder and he knows he's going to collect a foul. He's not even trying to get this ball to net. He's trying to pick up this free kick in and around this 18-yard box, which he does. It's a brilliant heads-up play from Hartford.
27 shots to 1. It's 2-1, and it could become 2-2 off this free kick. That's why you love this game. And on the other side, it's what makes this game agonizing if you're a Red Bulls fan tuning in right now. Danny Barrera will stand over at 8 goals last season. All-league first-team player. Hartford's all-time leader in goals scored, in assists, in key passes, in appearances, you name it. He leads it for Hartford. And he could lead the charge here with a strike on this free kick. Had the assist on the opening goal. Barrera curls it over the bar. Not a bad effort. Tough to get it up and down from that close.
I mean, for me, he's got to do better there. It's a perfect angle. This is a free kick dream just outside that 18-yard box. At least get it on frame, especially when you haven't had many opportunities in this attacking third. You haven't really been dangerous unless it does come from set pieces. So Barrera, when he watches this one back, this one could haunt him if this score does stay the same.
Barrage of goals in Florida. All of a sudden, it's 2-1 Orlando City over Tampa Bay Rowdies. 3 goals scored in the last 12 minutes of that one. Orlando up at home. Greenville Charlotte still 1-1. Minnesota United scored on the road against Forward Madison to take a 1-0 lead. Richmond Kickers and North Carolina Fusion U23 are scoreless, maybe on the verge of extra time. Atlanta United 3-0 at halftime over Chattanooga. Louisville City and St. Louis City are scoreless at halftime. And of course, 2-1 here with about 20 minutes to go. Ryan just came into this match for Klimala, and now he's the one down, drawing the attention of the trainers. Take another look at it and see if we can pinpoint where it might have happened. Some contact there to the face.
This is your final moment.
Falls down on his shoulder.
And it doesn't look as if there's too much there, if I'm being completely honest. But it does look like he's in a lot of pain, as if maybe it just popped out. So hopefully nothing too serious, or maybe an injury that has been lingering, but it didn't look like there was too much on it yet. He's fine.
Still preparing a sub here. Tom Barlow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, thank you. No, yeah, I'm just getting the board ready. You're all set. I already
Fourth official is just getting the board ready. And it sounds like it's going to be for Zach Ryan, who just came into the match. Tough to see if that's the case. Let's take a look back at some of the saves that Jimmy Slayton has made to keep this team in it.
Look, I was really hard on Slayton on that initial goal. I thought he could have done better, but he's kept this Hartford side in this match, quite frankly. I mean, this game could easily be 5-1 at the moment. He's been big, he's been brave, he's come out into big challenges, and this is what you need to see from a goalkeeper to instill confidence in your team that, quite frankly, was struggling in that first 45 minutes, and still to have that vocal communication there to drive that force of that back line to keep them tight. Switching from a 3 to a 4 says everything you need to know about Slayton.
Morgan turns at the end line. Ryan sprints back onto the field. So from eavesdropping on the fourth official, that sub was going to be Barlow for Ryan, but he's going to give it a go here. Ryan whips the ball in, headed down by Brewitt. He's gotten 1 minute of play in the regular season, Zachary Ryan. I don't think he wants to come off the field here after just subbing in. He will do whatever it takes to stay out there. Joel Johnson slots it through. Good ball in. Lewis cuts it across and cleared by Nealis.
Just so much better from Hartford defensively on the pitch. More structure, more balance, and not allowing Red Bull any time and space when the ball does come. So yes, maybe they don't win that initial first contact, but they always have players in supporting positions to get close enough to make it difficult. Talk about confidence from Slayton.
Someone was watching Ederson a couple of weeks ago in the Liverpool-Man City match.
Not Zach Steffen, but... Is that too close? Sorry. I know it's American-based. Okay, I'm done.
That's my fellow Maryland Terrapin right there. It's hitting really close to home.
Because I'm Canadian, I'm allowed to.
A lot of space here for Morgan. Takes it himself, cuts it across behind Ryan. Well read by Tolkien. See if Slayton has to do as much this time. No, this time just an easy pass out for Jadama. Well done by Luquinhas to win it. Has options. Here's Ryan. Tees it up, puts it over the bar. Looking for his first professional goal moments after he was nearly subbed off.
Luquinhas down this right-hand side has been a handful. I mean, wins this tackle, drives on, and just look at this ability. Has that defender coming on his backside, has the confidence to go 3v1, and then finds Ryan inside this 18-yard box. Hartford need to do a better job containing him down this right-hand side in order to have to be able to tie this game up.
Just signed his homegrown deal on January 20th, Zach Ryan. 67 starts at Stanford over his 4-year career, 31 goals, 13 assists, and two-time Pac-12 champion in his time at Stanford. Also Pac-12 Player of the Year in 2020. That's a terrific collegiate soccer program, and he was a standout among the best in his time there. See what the Red Bulls like in him. Now it's Lewis Morgan who's down on the other end. Foul in the box against Hartford. There's a reminder of how we got to this 2-1 scoreline. All Red Bulls first half. Goals 7 minutes apart from Lewis Morgan and Aaron Long. And Connor McGlynn, just moments into the second half, blasted one from outside the area after he was teed up on the free kick by Danny Barrera. And that made it 2-1. This game has taken on a completely different energy in the second half after that goal.
And give credit where credit's due. Harry Watling, I was really tough on him in that first 45 minutes. I think tactically he got it wrong, didn't make any tactical adjustments in that first 45, got into the locker room, made 3 great substitutes into this game, has more balance with that flat back 4, and just in transition, able to deal with this New York Red Bull side.
Rochester and Motown closing in on penalties. Some Red Bulls ties for that Motown team. Head coach Sashi Hott played in the Open Cup previously for the Red Bulls. All the other score lines have held true since the last update. We'll let you know if anything changes. Morgan behind Fernandez, taken by Brewitt. Haven't heard much from Apollon down the left side. Nor have we heard much from Prince Sadie, but he commits the foul here ever since he subbed in for Luca Perpa. Just the second year ever in which Hartford is competing in this tournament. Eliminated in the second round in 2019. Had a 3-1 victory last round over Oyster Bay United, 3-1 just 2 weeks ago. Very active second half in that one. Joel Johnson scored to make it 1-0 in the 49th. Oyster Bay tied it 10 minutes later. And then Perpa and Sadie scored down the stretch to make it 3-1. Even though Hartford Athletics' history is brief in this tournament, this stadium has quite the history in this tournament. Formerly Dillon Stadium goes all the way back 64 years when it hosted its first U.S. Open Cup game in November of 1958. That was Hartford's Italian-American Stars. I think we all remember that game very fondly. 64 years ago. The rich history of this tournament. And Hartford Athletic hoping to prove a moment like that here this time around. That Hartford Italian-American Stars team from 1958 made it a couple of rounds deep before they lost to the eventual champions that year, rather the eventual runners-up. McGlynn, he scored the goal for Hartford. They haven't really come close though since. Maybe this attack will lead to something. Prince Sadie down the wing, has Daly in the middle, and Mara gobbles it up.
Should have just held on to it a little bit longer. I understand that he's trying to play that early into the box, but you have those 2 late runners that just weren't there, defenders in the right positions, and he had a little bit of an edge on that defender down that left-hand side.
Fernandez behind Luquinhas. Fernandez keeps it going to the end line. Back for Luquinhas. Fernandez. Nobody home. Ball was out just over the line. Goal kick, 10 to go here from Trinity Health Stadium. With Kalen Kyle, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad you've been with us through 80 here on ESPN+. And if you're just joining us, welcome. Could be a tight finish between New York and Hartford that we didn't think was going to happen the way the first half went.
No,
this has been a pleasant surprise in half number 2.
I thought this game was going to be about 6-0 coming into this second 45 minutes. If you look at statistics, if you look at how New York Red Bulls were playing, they were all over and made it very almost unbearable to watch in that first 45 minutes because you almost just felt like Hartford didn't have any idea of how to play. And then Harry Watling at halftime making those tactical adjustments and substitute. This team looks like a different team in the second 45.
Tolkien. Fernandez bumped by Jadama. Here's Lewis. Now Sadie.
Okay, same
to
thing
McGlynn.
as before, final moment.
Plenty of space for Budati. He takes that space, he lines it up. Budati off the post! Johnson keeps it alive. Budati around the corner. Well shielded by Tolkien. Almost a moment of pure class from Yunus Budati.
And just look at this. Great first touch, settles it on his second, pushes it out on his third, and then just takes some heat behind it, goes off the woodwork. This is a brilliant strike, just takes almost all of the spin out of the ball. What a look that is from our cameraman. Well done. I mean, what an absolute fire of a shot.
Tom Barlow was getting ready to check in a few moments ago for Zach Ryan, who was injured. Ryan came back out there. Barlow still will check in, but instead it's for Omir Fernandez, and that is the final window for New York. So they've made just 4 subs, but that was their final window. So unless this goes to extra time, they will not be able to make another sub. It's just the second time ever that New York Red Bulls have faced a USL Championship team in this tournament. The last one was dramatic as well against FC Cincinnati in 2017. Will this one have a similar grandstand finish? Back for Cáceres, tees it up for Luquinhas on the ground. No trouble there for Slayton.
Luquinhas is just so smooth and silky on the ball. I mean, just the ball at his feet, it's almost mesmerizing. Takes 2-3 players on, just doesn't get this one enough in behind it, but he's been class this second 45 minutes.
Now the shoe on the other foot, though, this time for the Red Bulls. In 2017, in the semifinal against FC Cincinnati, then of USL Championship, now of MLS, it was Cincinnati who was up 2-0. They scored a goal to go up 2-0 in the 62nd minute. And then Gonzalo Verón and Bradley Wright Phillips scored a pair of goals 3 minutes apart with less than 15 to go. So it was the Red Bulls coming back from 2-0 down, now trying to see this one through after going 2-0 up. And then in that game, BWP ended up scoring in extra time to win it 3-2 and get them to the final in 2017 where they lost to SKC. So they've got one comeback against the USL Championship team from 2 goals down, New York, hoping to avoid a collapse from 2-0 up against the USL Championship side. And it's, again, a marvel that we're even talking about that. 30 shots to 3 right now for New York.
I think New York are going to go back, if they can hold on to this lead, are going to go back and still be disappointed if they do win this game, because they should have 6 into the back of the net right now. But Hartford, on the other foot, has clawed their way back in. They've made it difficult. They've got way higher up the pitch, pressing higher, and then also getting stuck into tackles. But I'd love to see Hartford just change this mentality a little bit. Just over 5 minutes to go, probably 8 with extra time. They need to start playing a little bit of a longer game. Get your back line up, get it closer to your midfield unit, condense team parts, and then use your big bodies up top. You've made great subs at 45. They've got to start playing more direct in this game.
This you don't like to see back behind the play. Jimmy Slayton down injured. His heroic effort's a big reason why this game is still close. 6 saves made.
And he's laughing. I think it could be just a little bit of a cramp.
And you know his teammates will give him some flack for that if it is just a cramp. They're going to get to him.
Yeah, you roll him off the pitch. I know you can't do that with a goalkeeper, but
they'll get to him in training and say, what are you doing? You're just standing there. You don't have any cramps that you can get. Come on now.
Those are one of those little tricks. You just keep a little packet of mustard in your sock as a player. I know it sounds weird, but it works. Mustard just kills cramps. I don't know why. Not a doctor, but everyone's thinking, who is this Canadian on the call? Crazy Canadian.
Going to penalties in Rochester. Between Rochester and Motown, Richmond Kickers and North Carolina Fusion have gone to extra time, scoreless. Coming down on the wire and some other ones as well. Greenville, Charlotte, 1-1 with 10 to go. Minnesota United on the road against Forward Madison, still up just 1-0. 5 minutes to go, Orlando up 2-1 on Tampa. And this one here still might be a photo finish. Daly trying to find a way through. A fistful of jersey from Nealis.
No, it's made the wrong call here.
Center referee corrected it after the assistant referee initially pointed Red Bull's way. I agree with you there, Kaylin. Certainly took a deflection. Glad Ernie Constantine made the switch on the call.
Yeah, it's good refereeing. I mean, the linesman's literally right there. It should have never been the wrong call in the first place, so well done from the official in the center.
Long throw, bounces. Yearwood. Here's Barrera. Serves one up. Loose in the box. Shouts of handball. Waved off by Ernie Constantine. 3 to go of the 90. Luquinha still on the charge. Up toward Barlow, cut out last minute. Out for a corner kick.
And just a replay at the other end. Great ball in from Barrera. Heads this one, comes up off the knee. It did look like a handball. It wasn't, though. Up off the knee, onto the chest and down. But Hartford trying to make a case for it. But this is what you need. Get it into the mix. Good service. Anything can come from it when it's driven in there. A little bit of a redirection. Hopefully a handball to take it to the spot. This is what Hartford need. Now a big moment on the opposite end. Have to have a big defensive effort here at the moment to clear this one out of danger.
One thing that will never happen from this Hartford team, you will never see them give up in a match and wave that white flag. Fighting to the last here. Unofficially told there may be 6 minutes of added time on the way. We will wait for the fourth official to confirm. Still waiting around for penalties to begin between Rochester and Motown. Motown, one of the 2 amateur sides still remaining. Could they be on the way through to a round of 32? Their goalkeeper is a plumber by day and a footballer by night here in the Open Cup. The stories that we love.
Okay, wait for it. Wait for it. You gotta trust us here.
Fourth official with board in hand. We will wait for the big reveal. Again, unofficially told it'll be 6 minutes.
And it's more than enough time for Hartford to get an equalizer here, but have to, again, play more direct, get numbers high up the pitch. You have nothing to lose here.
Whether you lose 3-1 or 2-1 in a single elimination, not going to make a difference. Goal differential, not a factor. Caution to the wind, it has to be, but the offside flag up on Prince Sadie. Confirmed 6 minutes of added time. Hartford players will see that and maybe feel a renewed sense of belief. They've still got plenty of time in this one. Maybe this is a performance that can turn the domestic season around for Hartford as well in USL Championship.
It 100% will. Even if they do end up losing this game 2-1, this is the response they needed to have in the second 45 minutes. And it's not that they've been playing bad football in league. It's not that they've been playing bad football in league. You look at their attacking presence, you look at their XGs, chances created in that final third. They just haven't been able to finish those opportunities, and it comes down to their big players, obviously their big strikers being out due to injury. So once they get this full squad back, and it was kind of the same story last season, their goal scoring threats out due to injury. So defensively, they've looked good. Yes, obviously New York has had more opportunities, have been outstanding in that first 45 minutes, but they've dealt with the waves of pressure. That only adds confidence into this side.
Budati. Now Sadie, who has switched over to the right side, and it's been a difference for him. He's been on the ball more.
Foul.
No foul called.
That's a foul.
I don't disagree, but Ernie Constantine did, and that's all that matters right now.
He's down. He's down.
Back behind the play, Tolkien yet to get up. Tolkien went down at 92 on the clock. Keep that in mind as he's down.
I mean, for me, that's a foul. Yeah, it would be soft, but there's contact from behind, trips the player up. And then this is what leads to the big tackle at the far end, just frustration setting in with players.
Tolkien did get back up quickly, only down for about 20 seconds, so shouldn't factor in as far as extra stoppage time on Ernie Constantine's watch. Johnson. Lewis carving his way through. Back for Budati. Serves it up. Joel Johnson didn't catch it cleanly. 3 to go of the 6 that were added.
Just the patience of Hartford having this as well, getting numbers up, especially a player like Joel Johnson, who's been outstanding for them this season. Yes, you can look at, no wins yet, but he's been a very bright spot for a side that hasn't been able to score that many goals and contain that many wins. Well, no wins, to be exact, but.
Minnesota United made it 2-0 with a couple of minutes remaining. On the road against Forward Madison. Launched to the top of the area and flicked on by Daly. Jadama wins it, flying through the air. Ryan to Cáceres. Back for Ryan. Cáceres switches the point of the attack. Morgan on the right foot, it's blocked. And it will trickle out for a corner kick, allowing New York to take some more time off the clock. Morgan can't take too much time himself here. He already has a yellow card for time wasting. So he will have to maybe pass this one off to someone else or just get it back into play like that.
Oh.
What a move at the end line. Played in the middle, Barlow couldn't get a foot to it. What a play by Edwards. minute to go. The 6 that were given. New York now trying to just milk all those remaining seconds off the clock. Maybe they do get a third here. Luquinhas cuts in. Luquinhas puts it over the bar.
Luquinhas is just such a fun player to watch. Just that Brazilian flair, the smooth, silky feet I touched on earlier.
The Red Bulls, as a franchise, have won 4 of their last 5 opening matches in this tournament. It's been a mixed bag as far as how far they've gone. They've always won the opener, it seems, of late. And they could be just seconds away from winning the opener once again. Six minutes have come and gone. Red Bulls clinging to a 2-1 lead. Cáceres picked up a straight red. Happened down in the corner. A straight red to Christian Cáceres. So if the Red Bulls do go through here, if there's no extra time added and it's a 2-1 win, it will be without Christian Cáceres.
I want to see a better angle of what actually had here to conduct a straight red. Obviously, this ball is going out of place, trying to keep this one in. An unnecessary tackle. So it's the frustration. It's the hands to the face that obviously gets this red card, but it's a silly red to give up. It's really, really silly. Dying minutes, you're 2-1 up at the moment, but it's the frustration of the initial tackle that comes through, which didn't need to happen. But anytime you put your hand to someone else's face, it's always a straight red. So it's the right call. It's a soft red, but it's the right decision.
I have to dismiss him first. He's got to go.
Yeah, this ref needs to call this game, though, because
Right now.
Still going.
yeah.
Shouts of it's over from the Red Bulls bench.
This is where players do get injured, though. So as a referee, you need to feel out this match. You've just given out a straight red. You're now 2 minutes over. There hasn't been that much extra time added to this, or there shouldn't have been. So
there is that final whistle. After a 2-year hiatus of the tournament, the New York Red Bulls once again have a win in the Open Cup, and they will be on their way to the round of 32. A 2-1 victory, tighter than it had to be, but a win nonetheless.
Look, Red Bulls could have been up about 4-0 in that first 45 minutes. They were dominant from that first whistle to the last whistle, and then the second 45, tactical adjustments from Harry Watling. I've touched on it, I think, 3 times now, but going to a flat back 4 just added a little bit more balance. They looked like they had a little bit more life with the 3 substitutes that they made. But Red Bulls quality. One thing that Red Bulls do need to look into, though, is that final third phase with especially a player like Camilla, not good enough. Too many opportunities to not put the ball into the back of the net. You saw Ryan come in, same opportunities being missed. So definitely something that they can work on moving forward in this competition.
We'll look back at the highlights from this one, the 2-1 win from New York Red Bulls. We'll take a look at some of the goals they scored in the first half. It started off with Lewis Morgan.
Yeah, and Lewis Morgan, doesn't matter if you have him on the left, you have him on the right, you have him playing a fullback role. He just always seems to be a threat in this attacking third. Doesn't look like much from it. He says, you know what, I'm gonna have a go, have 3 defenders in front of me, puts it through the mix. Goalkeeper just not able to save this one. And then another opportunity here. I mean, just wave after wave in this first 45 minutes. Sloppy clearance, top of the box, keeps this one alive. Puts this one on target. A great initial save from Slayton, but it was Long that said, you know what, center backs can score too. Nearly missed this one to put it right back to the goalkeeper, but I'm just gonna say it was a little bit of a cheeky finish for him, just toying with Slayton a little bit. Then you see this tackle down this this right-hand side. This is straight from the training ground, top of the box, makes no mistake. I mean, this is brilliant pass from, but it just realizes that the Red Bulls have been caught sleeping here. Fabulous finish, and then the momentum started to shift in Hartford's favor. Good opportunity here off the woodwork. How about this for a strike? Look at this angle. I mean, just completely takes the rotation out of it. And give credit where credit's due. I mean, Hartford, you look at these statistics here, 30 shots, 8 of those being on target, had to be better in the finishing department for New York Red Bulls to put this one to bed in that first 45 minutes. And then Hartford just came back and showed a little bit of life, so hopefully they can bring that back into their season. Obviously sitting bottom of the table at the moment, only 4 goals to their name, 9 goals against. Some players, yes, they are injured, but they look like they had a little bit more life in the second 45.
And the Red Bulls will use this to try and carve a deep charge into the 2022 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. They were finalists in 03 and 2017. They want more. They want a trophy this year. Gerhard Struber plays a very strong side tonight, and they come away with a 2-1 victory on the road against Hartford Athletic. That'll do it for us here from Dillon Stadium. For my broadcast partner, Kaylin Kyle, and the crew that makes this happen, I am Joe Malfa saying good night, Red Bulls 2, Hartford 1.